All right, welcome back, everyone. Today we've got a new Demko knife to talk about. It's been out for, I don't know when it released, but it's relatively a new model. This is the Shark Cub. It is a small knife. It comes in their plastic slip together box, kind of like a drill bit would come on Home Depot or something like that. Kind of a cool package. This thing is small, though. This is their smallest knife, and apparently there was a lot of interest in a smaller knife than just the Demko AD20.5, which was already small. Now I'm showing it here next to the Spyderco Delica, a kind of iconic knife, a knife that everybody knows about, that I have always said and thought is very small. I own this one because it glows in the dark, and well, I'm really 12 years old inside of a man's body, so I'm kind of a man-child, if you will, and my girlfriend would completely attest to that as well. So I own this one. I do have another one with the Damascus blade from Nightjoy in the kitchen that I use for a lot of shipping stuff, because I do a lot of shipping stuff from the kitchen table. This guy, it's small. It's slightly smaller than the Delica. And it feels about the same in the hand because it's also very thin. It's basically the same thickness as the Delica. This one is aluminum. They do have a G10 version. I'm going to put the Delica off to the side. This one, like I said, this is the aluminum version. It comes in G10 also. You can Spidey flick it for sure. This is the shark foot blade. They also have a clip point blade and a slicer shark blade, which the slicer one is effectively kind of a drop point blade, if you will. I love how everybody has to come up with their own names for things because it makes it different. Like, I get it. It's all marketing. I am not a marketing major. If I was a marketing major, there'd be a lot more subscribers on the channel, but we won't even go there. So something new also is the reversible pocket clip on the 80/20.5s. Well, on the 80/20 and the 20.5s, they came with right hand and left hand pocket clips, but they kind of started here and kind of went out. They were kind of arranged differently. So you could not use a right-handed clip on the left-handed side. Like, you had to have a different clip, which they sold, which they included with. So you could be ambidextrous. This particular one, it is just the same clip, which I think is very cool. I also like the fact that there is the screws to hold it down, but there's also screws over here. It's not just blank holes like a lot of other knives have, including the Delica. So the Delica, you can put it tip down, tip up, left or right, but you're just left with these holes and kind of these landing pads, if you will, for the clip. Aesthetically, to me, I don't love that, but super versatile. You have so many options. Here, you just have tip up, left or right, but I love the fact that they just have screws here, not holes. So that is a plus for sure. The thumb opening hole works great for your thumb or your reverse flick. These things run on bearings just like all of the other Demkos do. And it's got this shark lock. Not even going to get into the shark lock. Everybody has their opinion on it. I think it's fine. I don't know that it's technologically better than any other style lock like this. It's kind of a glorified bar lock, crossbar lock, access lock, whatever you want to call it. But yes, it does have its advantages and its disadvantages. You know, I don't know. Are there disadvantages? It's a little uncomfortable as you are Fidgeting with this, the Shark Lock does get a little uncomfortable to my maybe delicate fingers. I'm sure someone will comment down below, which is okay. And let's talk about the specs. 4 1/16 closed, 6 3/4 overall with a 2.75 inch blade with a 2.5 inch cutting edge, which is interesting because on their website it says it's a 2 inch cutting edge. But unless my ruler and my calipers are totally wrong, I personally measure 2.5 inches. It's 0.027 behind the edge. The blade thickness is 0.093. So it starts off very thin and it gets thinner, but it's not super crazy slicer. Now their slicer Shark blade, I don't know. That may be much thinner behind the edge. I don't know. CPM 20 CV, weighs in at 2.7 ounces. This thing will disappear in your pocket. The pocket clip works fantastic. I would kind of like countersunk hardware. It still works great, but at the end, you do need to kind of sometimes jiggle it into your pants to get it completely into that deep carry position, if you will. But that's a nitpick, Dirk, personal preference, personal thing. I think everybody into knives or watches, or you have your thing that you're into. Whether for me it's the pocket clip, other people it might be the deployment and the action. Does it have a thumb stud versus a thumb hole? Everybody has their own thing that they're looking for. Watches, maybe the crown is too big or too small. The bezel action as it clicks around, you don't like the click, you like the click. Everybody has that one thing that they're always looking at. And for me, it is pocket clips. Yeah, it's a pocket clip. If it doesn't work in the pocket, then it's I digress. Overall thickness, 0.356. Runs on bearings. I think it's a cool knife. This particular one in the aluminum comes in at $200 on the Demko website. You may be able to find it at retailers a little under that. I don't know. I think Gil over at Wild About Sporting Goods is a Demko dealer. I didn't go check his site. He did not loan this one in. This one came from Alice, but there is a discount code over at Wild About Sporting Goods. And just for giggles, I'll put a link and the promo code in the description. Even though he didn't send this in, I know he is a Demko dealer, and so you might be able to get a deal there. I think it's a cool knife, but it's too small for me. Like I said, here it is with the Delica. Here it is with the Sharpie. What else do I got here? How about the... Oh, man, I totally misfired that one. The Kubi KB237 at $45. They're different knives. Both made overseas. Demko makes them in Taiwan. This one's made in China. Bearings, G10. Now, the G10 version of this is $190. It's $10 more for the aluminum, or if you will, $10 less for G10. I am a fan of G10. I am not so much a fan of aluminum. However, this one is not chalky. Sometimes when you get aluminum scales, and this is not brand new either, so Alice, I'm sure, has carried it. It was over at Tri-State EDC's channel before it came to me. So I'm sure people have carried this. But a lot of times in aluminum scaled knives, they're kind of chalky. They don't get anything on your finger, but there's a chalky feel to it. You know what I'm talking about, I hope. I think most people do understand what that is all about. But I do like the Demko company in general. I like a lot of their offerings. This particular one is not my favorite because it's just small for me and my hands. You may like small knives. This might be perfect for you. That's why I do knives that I don't necessarily love. I show all the knives. A lot of channels are only showing knives that they like. And they're very open about that. If they don't like it, they're not going to show it. Hey, I think that's great. If I get a knife that I don't like, and I've gotten several that I like literally hated for one reasons or another, but I still video them because it makes me appreciate them. It makes me investigate it a little bit, makes me carry it, use it, whatever. And just because I don't like it doesn't mean you won't like it. And maybe that video gets 1,000 views because other people liked that product. So I try to show everything that comes to me, regardless of price, quality. Like, even if it's cruddy quality, I'm going to show it and talk about it, because then again, that's educating you as the consumer as to what is out there from any given company. So, ramble's over. I will let you guys go. Thank you very, very much. If you made it this far, comment delicate finger down in the comments. Would love to hear it. Thanks, guys.